That's what I was saying about in revolutionary reaction. As a revolutionary, we're Pan-Africans. We say reactionary philosophy because as I was speaking on the three different, our people are oppressed. And one thing about class or the caste system is that racism is still part of class. You know, sexism is still part of a class system. So that's why when it's just for FYI, when you debating communists or people who are communists who choose to only focus on class, period. Like, we eliminate an economic class, we will eliminate racism, eventually we'll eliminate sexism. Whereas we say that racism has grown into its own entity, as women will say, sexism has grown into its own entity, devoid of the actual financial structure. So, but as a staunch down, I guess, class person myself, I would also argue that the economic structure needs to be changed first, or you will not even see the changes in the others. One of the things, though, as far as identity goes, and that's why I say we're Pan-Africans. In Pan-Africanism, we say we are African, period. We're not African. We speak on from a unity perspective, a proactive, a revolutionary perspective, not a reactive perspective. So we say we are African, period. We don't say we're Afro-Brazilian. We don't say we're Afro-American. We're Afro this, Afro that. We're just plain African. Every on the continent, I'm Gambian, I'm from Mali, I'm Somalian, I'm this, I'm that, and we say that's all separation. The ideology must be unification, and so the most proactive stance you could take is to be African, period. That is what will begin, you know, our unity. We must first be unified in thought. And this is we say Africa because we operate from a land base. We obviously know that if you want to build a sovereign nation, you must have land. So that's the thing. We operate. Africa today is called Africa. For whatever reason, you want to research it, we can say the name came from here, the name came from there. Kemet, Al-Kibalan, Sudan, Bilad, you know, Egypt, Libya. We can name different names that Africa has went through, but today is called Africa. It could change to some name another day, but today we call ourselves Africans, because we understand our importance to have the land base of Africa, being African, and but that's important. But the idea of revolution and reaction, basically, I look at racism as a reactionary stance, because one of the things we must realize is, like I spoke earlier about being this game, be playing this game. Don't hate the player, hate the game. But at the same time, you know, as a revolutionary, like I say, I don't hate the game. I may play, but then at the same time, I may understand. I'm not playing, but just saying I understand where I am, but I also understand where we need to go. But at the same time, racism is is something that is used by some, because like some like to play that race thing, because it's like during the civil rights struggle, we were protesting for jobs. You know, we protest like there's an organization in Missouri called MOCAN, and what MOCAN does is, like, one of the times that they were building on one of the highways here, MOCAN protested and shut down the highway. You know, put people out on the highway or whatnot, and shut down the highway because there weren't enough black people being hired, or black construction companies being utilized in the building of these highways. So it got a few more jobs in. Of course, you know, now it's still building going on, but if you pass by, you still don't see that many black people. But just saying, you know, MOCAN went out and did that job. Now, there's no disrespect to any organizations that may take different reactionary stances, because we must deal with issues as they arise, but to be an organization just centered around dealing with issues as they pop up gives you this reactionary stance. It also like gospel, you know, charlatan preachers. You get these people who, when something happens, now here they come, but there's no real program of action that can keep them sustained, you know, on and on, an ongoing process, because you need the objective. And that's where racism comes in. Racism has been used by the enemy to keep us in a certain position. And of course, it's based on land. It's based on land and material resources. That's why in the Pan-African, when we say matter is primary, people talk about being materialistic. They may say, well, it's too much materialism, but we are dialectical and historical materialists. We believe in matter is primary. We look at the physical. And then, of course, the world is, you know, is immaterial, is a very mass as in not mass, as in enormous mass, but it's a very large realm. Let's keep it simple. Food, clothes, shelter, medical care, and education. We can have 1,000 billion million thoughts on spirituality and these things around this, but matter is primary. And then that's where racism comes in, because like I say, a lot of people focus on that, and to me that's a reactionary stance to take, because when you say racism, you're thinking, okay, racism implies that some dominant race, culture, or group is over some other group. So then as this group begins to focus on that concept, that idea that someone is over me, what are you doing? You are keeping those people over you, and you have yourself like, racism is somebody here, somebody else here, and then my mind is constantly focusing on doing this. Okay? A proactive stance is, I'm here, I may be here, but it's because I know it's things that here has that I need. Pan-Africanism, being a proactive stance, says that I need my own land. I need my, even Black Power movement. In the highest level of the Black Power movement is Pan-Africanism. So just I need to control my own communities. I need to have my own land. I need to create my own jobs. I need to provide my own health care. Alright? So then, racism, where does racism go? What is that? You know? So, and then that's the point. You already understand your equality. People who operate on the divine level,